Metal lesson number 37. Today we're going to talk about upstrokes, because everyone talks about downstrokes, but upstrokes are just as important when building a really fierce rhythm and picking technique. Some of the examples shown today are in my book, and if you like the guitar tone, it's also available in my Bandcamp as well. In this first example, I'm going to show you a strumming pattern that really helped my playing. I've talked about it before on the channel, but let's go over it again. And it's this. So this picking pattern's in triplets, and you want to pick down twice and then finish with the upstroke. And it's a really awkward picking pattern when you're first learning. But with time, you'll get to understand and learn it. And then you'll also notice that your picking hand becomes really nice and fluid. And you can add this to a whole bunch of chords and chord progressions as well, and it sounds really cool. And it really helps you groove with the drums as well. Really locks in that triplets or groups of three kind of feel. So that's one thing to try out. Now, when I was learning, I wasn't really focused on getting serious down picks. It was only after I watched a video of Archaon on a Guitar World video. It's gone now, unfortunately. But he was talking about the Sculpture of Flesh riff, and that's what made me focus a lot more on down picking. But before, I didn't really think about it too much, and I just did what felt natural. An example of this is this riff. Now, I came up with it when I was like 14 or something, and it's an old riff of mine from Premature Birth, my original band. I found it too tiring to downpick everything. And then tremolo pick at the end. I just didn't like it, so I messed around. So the accented chords are with an upstrum. And that's the kind of technique that you can try, almost like you're treating the guitar almost like a drum, because it's a very percussive rhythm. It sounds like a drum fill. So when it's a kick drum for all the low notes, you down pick with the palm mute, and then for the snares or the accents, that's when you upstrum. And then later on in the song, you've got this riff. And that was influenced by Kings of the Carnival creation. But I gave that riff my own twist. So again, taking that same principle of like a drum beat, down picking on all the palm muted notes, and then upstroking on all of the accented notes, or the notes without the palm mute. It's a nice little thing to try. So of course you might be thinking, okay, when do I upstrum? So traditionally you could think of it like this. So when you're playing eighth notes, you normally want to upstrum on the offbeat. So it'll be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if you're playing eighth notes, generally you want to strum upwards on all of the offbeats, all of the ands. Now when you're playing 16th notes, you want to upstroke on the second and fourth 16th note. So think of it in groups of 4, and you want to pick down on 1 and 3, and then up on 3 and 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and 2 E and That's normally where you'd add upstrokes. If you're playing groups of 3s or 6, the picking is going to be down, up, down, up, down, up. So just bear that in mind. And the reason why I said traditionally you start with a down strum is because you can flip that. You can potentially start going up, down, up in your picking. You can downpick everything. It's so tiresome and almost unnecessary sometimes, and because when you upstrum, you're picking the brighter, thinner notes first, and then you're going to the low, bassier and thicker sounds. And the contrast between the higher notes and the lower notes is emphasized when you start with an upstrum and when the riff starts with a chord, for example. So that riff was from End 1 by Gohil, and there's another riff in the song that goes like this. So again, taking this idea of like drum fill kind of idea and incorporating it into guitars, and I do it quite a lot. So this is one of the reasons why I think upstrokes can be utilized. If you're playing a more tremolo picked focused style of black metal, instead of adding all these thrash inspired riffs in there, how is it going to help? Well, you need upstrokes to tremolo pick, right? So it's important to have good down strums, but up strums can be quite important too.